Zach Browning with the Region 2 drawdown requests.
Good
How are
evening.
you doing?
Good. I'm here tonight. I have 3 drawdowns for 3 of the Lincoln County Commission projects. I also have a resolution here. What we like to normally have is a resolution on file that authorizes another member of the commission to sign in case the president isn't able to sign one of our small cities documents. We had one when Mr. Vance was president. We haven't updated it since you became president. So I have a resolution here that just authorizes Commissioner Vance to sign in the case of the absence of the president of the County Commission.
Is there a motion to sign the resolution?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that being unanimous, the ayes have it.
For the first drawdown I have this evening, it is for the Francis Creek Waterline Extension Project. It is the 3rd Small Cities Block Grant drawdown. The total amount of the drawdown is $2,607.17, and these go to pay Region 2 Planning and Development Council for administrative invoices that have occurred since November. With that, I have the cover letter, the resolution, the final financial page, and all corresponding invoices. The Francis Creek project got its full funding this year. In speaking to the engineer, we're going to start acquiring some land and doing the environmental work over the summer, and the intent is to get a bid this fall, probably around November, December, something like that. So if you
Is there a motion to
Approve the drawdown.
approve the drawdown request?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, that being unanimous, the ayes have it.
Is that the only place I can see?
this is in a different spot.
You used to watch it after me.
Yeah, that's good.
Alright, the second drawdown I have this evening is for the 10 Mile Creek Waterline Extension Project. This is drawdown number 14 in the amount of $5,316.88, and that goes to pay Region 2 Planning and Development Council for administration invoices incurred since November. This project is essentially complete. All the construction work's been done. There's actually some funds left over in the project that we actually were able to get approved to use towards the purchase of new water meters. And I think we're going to try to do that drawdown with the PSD this month. After that, this project will go into final closeout, and I should be here within the next month or two with a final closeout and all that. With the drawdown, I have the cover letter, the resolution, the financial page, and all corresponding invoices.
I motion we go ahead and approve it.
I second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that being unanimous, the ayes have it.
finally have one last drawdown. This is for the Big Hearts Water Project Phase 1. This is drawdown number 4. Total of the drawdown is $2,381.52. That goes to pay Region 2 Planning and Development Council for administrative invoices. Seems since July was the last time we've done them. The Big Hearts project is actually, I think it's already advertised for bid. Bid opening is next month, which means I guess probably 3 months after that we can award contracts and go to construction before the end of the year. With the drawdown, I have a cover letter, resolution, financial page, and invoices.
I motion we carry on this third.
I second that. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? That being unanimous, the ayes have it.
So we have somebody pay you now. It's like, include all them signs.
Is that it?
This one's got one.
I knew you missed that.
Thanks. I was emailing these to you.
Is that it?
That is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Next is the Hamlin-Lincoln County Public Library request. This was sent to us. We read this to the commission. The Branchland Outpost Library, a branch of the Hamlin-Lincoln County Public Library System, is located behind the former Branchland Elementary School. While the school was operational, the library was alive with activity as children borrowed books, conducted research, and participated in programming. The library has grown sadly quiet and underused as the dynamics of the area have changed. The Hamlin-Lincoln County Public Library Board of Trustees, whose charge is to provide excellent library services to its county constituents, feel it can no longer accomplish this goal for the area's residents in the present facility or location. With this charge in mind, the board is undertaking a building project to relocate the Branchland Library to a more accessible, busier, safer, and much more welcoming site between the Guyan Valley Middle School and the Lincoln Primary Care Wildcat Center. Property has been secured and plans are underway to build the new facility. The library board plans to build a 2,000 square foot building, approximately 800 square feet larger than the present facility. The building will have special amenities for the public, including a small meeting room with kitchenette. The board has received preliminary bids on this project and is optimistic that the new library will open around September of this year. The Library Board of Trustees is seeking financial support from the County Commission in the amount of $150,000. The board has raised and/or saved approximately $200,000 towards the construction cost. Attached are preliminary floor plans for the new facility. The Library Board and I would greatly appreciate your consideration in this project. Margaret Smith, Director.
I know the site they're at now, and I know the site they're thinking about moving to and things like that, and I agree with everything in the request. I don't know, how much money we would have available for that type of a thing, but it's something that I think we need to consider and look at making some kind of contribution to that.
I think maybe, I would like to make a recommendation that maybe we consider this after we get into the new budget year.
I think that's a good idea. So I'll go ahead and motion we table this request at this time to get the new fiscal year.
I second that motion. Is there any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That being unanimous, the ayes have it. We'll table this. Alright, next on the agenda, we received a letter from the Farmland Protection Board. It says, Dear Lincoln County Commissioner, Mr. Larry Bays and Mr. Alan Boo were contacted by Lincoln County Farmland Board Chairman Warren Smith and are enthusiastically committed to consideration for board membership. It says, we respectfully recommend their acceptance by the county commission. With what we've been doing, as far as our boards are concerned, we are to appoint people to the board. I would like to advertise for this, like we do the rest of the boards. And, so, how would you like to dispose of the letter?
I think that's good. I think we, be consistent. We need to advertise. I think we, in advertising the position where these fellows apply, and, we also know that's their recommendation too.
Right.
So we can consider that when we do consider the applicants. So I'll make a motion, we go ahead and advertise for the positions.
All right, I'll second that. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. We'll advertise for that board. Next under unfinished business is possible action is, last meeting we sent a message to Jim Gaypart regarding advertising for positions that the county commission would have to approve. I felt like that we should have a policy regarding advertisement, and his letter, I would like to read you his letter. It says, I have been asked whether the commission can adopt a policy that all positions hired by any elected official or through the county commission must be locally advertised. The short answer is yes, but further discussion is warranted. All county office holders hire employees with the advice and consent of the county commission under West Virginia Code 777, and the county commission has been held by the Supreme Court to be the co-employer of such persons. On this basis, if the county requires as a term of its advice and consent that a prospective employment position be advertised, at least locally, I would expect that the requirement to be upheld as a reasonable exercise of the county's authority. Regarding that, positions be advertised is one way to discourage backdoor, good old boy political hiring, and qualified candidates have an opportunity to be considered. However, our county personnel policy provides that processes for their amendment and adoption of such a policy under Section 7, page 19 notice is required, and office holders have an opportunity to be heard and to contest any proposed new policy, allows appeal to the circuit court by any party county officer. For purposes of the memorandum, I have assumed that the inquiries related to prospective employees, not non-employee contractors, for example. This answer might be the same, adoption of a policy requiring advertisement of contract opportunities. But the analysis in applicable law is very different. If you want to consider a policy relating to non-employee contractors, or you have any other questions, please let me know. So basically, he's saying that we can adopt a policy that all, if we are going to consider a hire, that has to be advertised. One thing that I think in this letter that he says that we probably want to put that out to the elected officials to let them comment on that before we adopt such a policy.
So would you like a recommendation that we go ahead and send a copy of what we're going to do, hiring policy to the elected officials and give them time to comment on it?
I think that would be appropriate.
I'll go ahead and make that motion.
I'll second that motion. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
I did have a comment, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
On the policy that we operate under, in order to change it, we do have to approach the court system, is that correct?
Not necessarily, not in this case. We're not actually changing the personnel policy. We are just actually amending, and that's what I believe that's what the prosecutor actually said.
Okay.
Any other discussion? There was a motion, there was a second, there was a vote, there was 2 ayes. Is there a third aye?
Yes.
Okay, so that being unanimous, the ayes have it. Just send out our letter to the. There you go. All right. Next, we have our new business. If you all had a copy, had a chance to review the new business. Is there any comments on anything in the new business that you would like to mention? Or have any clarification?
Someone for the,
Right here.
I want engineering for $44,800.
Okay. I went to a meeting with, this S&S Engineering was, I guess, approached by the Lincoln County PSD some time ago, and I think it's been years ago, and they have, I guess they have had them to prepare, an engineering report for a sewer system in Allen Creek. I reviewed those plans that they have and the engineering that they have done on this, and in order for them to complete or finish the engineering reports, which would be later on, they requested that we pay this amount, which is 80% of the engineering cost. So I told them that I would put that on the agenda since it was an outstanding bill. They had, I guess, sent letters. They had sent letters to the PSD prior to that, and I think the Lincoln County Commission prior to that, and I had no idea why it hadn't been paid. Of course, coming into in 2013, I think some of these engineering has been done. I think it was in 2009. I don't know. I have a copy, I believe.
The Sangabi Engineering Group, I remember myself back at some point that I attended a meeting along with Ron Gregory and some people from the Department of Highways trying to figure out how to get sewage tied into South Charleston, coming down Quarter G and into Allen Creek. And at that point, it was my understanding that the South Charleston people and the Lincoln PSD were going to discuss with Sangabi about doing the engineering. So at the same time, only if they were able to get funding, they would be paid, but there's no obligation on the part of the Lincoln County Commission to ever pay anything.
So I didn't really understand. What did you say? You went to a meeting. This has been a while back.
Well, it's been about 3 years ago, along with myself, the people at the Department of Highways. We managed the Department of Highways building in Charleston. With Ron Gregory was there representing the PSD, and basically they were talking about how can we get a waiver at that time to build a sewer system along Quarter G. In that discussion, Ron Gregory said he had a friend or acquaintance, I guess, that did engineering work for South Charleston, and that he would contact him and see if he'd be willing to conduct the engineering work and be paid if there was a project funded through state or federal monies. But at no point was there ever any obligation on the part of the Lincoln County Commission to pay this amount. So I would request respectfully that we set this aside from the new business and handle that as a separate issue.
Okay, we can do that. There was three basically proposals that I saw. I don't know if you saw the same thing. But there was one of them was a self-contained system for the Allen Creek area, which would serve 430 people, and then the other was to tie in with the South Charleston system. It was my understanding whenever I met with them that S&S Engineering would be doing the engineering work for the Allen Creek area, not the South Charleston area. That they would be doing all of the engineering work for the Allen Creek area. That's why this was on the agenda. I thought that maybe that you all, or maybe the Lincoln PSD or the county commission in years past had entered into an agreement with them to engineer the sewer system work for the Allen Creek area. Is that not the case?
I don't think it was. I think what happened was, from what Charles had said there, I think, is there not a problem with the state, the Department of Highways allowing them to come down Corridor G? Was that not what we?
The reason we met up there, they were saying they did not permit that under the Corridor G federal money guidelines that was issued. You could not have that type of run along the highway. You could not have a sewer access. And we met up as part of Highways trying to figure out how to make it, possible to happen, and the governor even got involved in it. And of course, he wanted to see the area developed, and he couldn't understand why you would not want that. That's the whole idea of building Corridor G as an economic development piece of highway. But anyway, in all those discussions we had for months or two there, finally, we encouraged and want to see public sewer in Allen Creek and anywhere in Lincoln County we can. But I think our position at that time was we weren't ready to get into that until we found out for sure whether it's going to let us come along Corridor G or not, because we wanted to see that area developed economically. So I think at the time, Mr. Gregory, as a member of the PSD, suggested he had a friend, acquaintance, in Mr. Sangabi, to do engineering work, and if they were successful, then he would be paid. But otherwise, there's never any obligation on the part of the county commission.
Okay, the reports that I got, the engineering work didn't come down Corridor G. They came down the old 214 way, so there would be, with the maps that I saw, this was all engineered outside of 119.
That's probably true. I haven't seen that part, Mr. Matthews. I just remember the discussions that we had.
The other thing that's a little bothersome in this is I don't know if this was bid out or anything. I think a contract of this amount, is it not $25,000 for the state policy on bidding out contracts or something? I know there's a limit.
Yes, I think that's correct.
And this, I'd like to see some documentation as to how this number was come about, and